This is an inside look into the routine, All I Need. This routine was conceived for an amazing person and human being who I had the pleasure of working with. It was made to emphasize the person's strengths, expression, storytelling, and allowing them to shine within a simple template. The intro was filmed here the way I filmed it on them. I thought this would be perfect to teach as an all levels class for all of the people out there who are either older, recovering from injuries, getting back into dance after a long period of time, beginners, or people who simply want to dance but don't want to be stressed with difficulty. I'm recovering from an injury myself. I hurt myself prepping a West Side Story routine that will be posted soon, but it was really nice to have a routine like this that feels almost like movement therapy. It isn't stressful to dance, and it can be done with a limited range of motion. The theme of the routine is almost like a study of your body. There are several moments where you travel up a body part for a long period of time, or you tickle your arm and it makes you gasp, or you put your wrist on your forehead, and since it's incredibly slow, there's a lot of time to just feel skin on skin and actually be aware of what your body's doing, how your shoulders move, how your torso contracts. I thought for beginners this would be a great way to work on body awareness and discover how your body moves, what looks good on it, and to really embrace it because this is such an exposing routine. I talk a lot about stillness and exposing movement, but not all of my routines are that way, so it's still worth noting here. While I was teaching the class, a student asked me what the intention should be. Should it be sexy? Should it be sad? I told her it can be interpreted a million different ways, and I actually was really excited about that aspect of the routine and said that I would give suggestions during groups to reveal a few of those millions of different ways. When I demonstrated the routine, I did it very straightforward before breaking it up into groups. What you see here is that first time that I demonstrated it, which is so much more straightforward than the second one, which is really emotional. And when they did it in groups, I gave them one example of doing it like a living mountain that's starting to erupt like a volcano. It makes sense when you do it. So the two dancers on the right here came to my Shut Up and Dance class where they were just rays of sunshine, like I always say every time I post about them. And to my surprise, they were both back again. And the woman on the left is someone that I've had at an intensive before. She was also at one of my previous nights of dance where she stood out like another ray of sunshine. So to have all three of them, it was just too good to pass up, and I had to have them dance together. I really like all three of them because when I watch other students in class watch them, I can see how inspired they are, because for a lot of dancers that are professionals, pre-professionals, aspiring dancers who are taking it really seriously, when you're in class with dancers like these women who look like they're just doing it for fun, it kind of recalibrates why you're dancing in the first place. This is Victoria. She auditioned for a musical that I just wrote, directed, edited, choreographed, and at the audition, they had to act and sing and dance because it's a musical, and she really stood out at the audition, and it was really nice to see her in class again, and just I really enjoyed her approach to the movement, and so I had her do it as a solo. This group includes Brooke on the left, who also I found at the audition for my musical, and she booked it, and I loved having her on set. And in the middle is Faith, who also took one of my intensives, and on the right is Samia, who also took one of my intensives, but from Germany. And all three of them just did a really beautiful job. They were really clean. They understood the musicality. They had different versions of feminine touches. And my challenge for all three of them was to make sure that they were feeling and not just thinking, because they're all multidimensional women who sometimes as dancers, we get stuck trying to perfect the choreography instead of putting ourselves into it. And that's what I tried to get them to do here. After we did groups, I asked that same student who asked the question to give me a prompt. She asked me to do it like I was pregnant and dancing for my child. I pretty much started crying right away because there are people close to me who are at varying degrees of either trying to get pregnant without success, having miscarriages, or have recently become pregnant and just felt their feelings all at once. When I laid down, there were tears pouring out, and that's why I'm blinking so much. I was also shaking, but you can't see that in the video. One of my favorite things lately is attempting to make routines that can live and breathe with the person performing them, and this is an example of how the same moves can look and feel different depending on how they're approached. I want to try it a bunch more different ways, from happy to hopeful to sensual to messy. There are so many different ways to try it, and I'm really excited to teach this many more times and to personally try out a few of those different approaches. Since I'm just getting back into dancing again after an injury, this was a perfect way to get back at it. And of course, I can't wait to see the students' interpretations as well. I found out afterwards that that student and her friend that she came with are both mothers who are from Europe and drove from San Diego to take class, leaving their kids at home so they could treat themselves to my night of dance. Students traveled from all over the world, India, Australia, all across Europe, and from across the US, from DC to San Francisco, just to take class that weekend. They all learned human and love on the brain as well that day, and this is just a very special time for me as a teacher that people are willing to travel in from out of town to take these classes. And these videos and the inside looks are just my attempt to document it all and share it with whoever is interested in it. And I hope that you enjoyed this.